Hello, pretty girl. This is Drea, and you're listening to Get the Fuck Up. Today, we're going to be talking about getting the ick with ourselves. I think there comes a time in every person's life, especially women, where you look in the mirror and you feel the ick. You're out with your friends and you feel the ick. You're sitting in your bed and you feel icky. The ick is a feeling of disgust. And when you have it for yourself, it can be overbearing. Today, we're going to be talking about how to get out of that icky feeling and how to fall in love with yourself again. Because you're too fucking special. You're too amazing to be feeling that way. And when you feel that way about yourself, you can't show up in the world how you should be. I faced this the hardest when I was 16 years old. I was in an abusive relationship. I had quit all my hobbies. I was extremely depressed and anxious. And I felt icky. I felt horrible. I would look in the mirror and I would cry. I would sit in my bed and just think, wow, I feel useless. What a lot of people don't know is the ick comes from not being your authentic self. You feel so disgusted with yourself, so out of body and just nasty all the time because you're not being your authentic self. You're either playing another character so that society will accept you, you're stuck in the past and not growing, or you're stuck in a loop doing the same shit every single day. Pretty much all sums up to one thing: you're not being who you are. You are a ball of light, of sunshine. You're unique. You have different talents, different skills. There's an energy about you that needs to be expressed. And when you're not moving and expressing that energy is getting all stuck inside of you. And it gets further and further down. You forget it exists. And then you just feel darkness. You feel icky. You feel disgusted. You don't even know who you are. So in order to come back to true self, to fall in love with yourself again, the beautiful, amazing person that you are, you have to track down when you lost sight of yourself. When did you start feeling icky? When did you start feeling stagnant? And I know icky's a silly word, but there's not a better icky. When did you start feeling like this? For me, I tracked it back to the first time I even felt this ick, this hatred for myself. Because that's what the ick is. You start to hate yourself. And when I think about it, the very first times I started to feel it was when I was a little kid. My parents, they would talk down on me. They made me feel like I wasn't enough, like I wasn't loved, and I got bullied at school. So over time, I just really started to not like Drea. I didn't really like me. And I would make myself smaller and smaller. I laughed a little less loud. I talked a little bit less. There's a point I didn't talk at all because I couldn't. I felt like I couldn't. That's how deeply you can lose yourself in other people's opinions of you. And then I kept thinking, I was like, well, when did I still feel joy? When did I still feel that love for myself? When I was singing and when I was playing basketball. This is when I was a little kid. We're going back all the way to middle school right now, you guys, because it piles up. When I was in middle school and I was playing basketball, I was really good at basketball. But my dad, being the abusive person that he is, really kind of beat out the love for me. And I started to feel like I wasn't good at basketball, so I quit. Boom, just kept that part stagnant in me. I stopped working out as a whole. When I lost the love for basketball, why would I go and start another sport? That was over for me. So that was another piece of Drea taken out of me. Then I always wanted to be a singer. I'm in chorus all these years, and I didn't make honor chorus 1 year. 1 year. Because I was really sick. And that was enough to just destroy my confidence because it was already so low in everything else. So this one rejection, I cut out singing. Now I'm not talking how I usually do. I'm not laughing how I usually do. I'm not being myself. I'm not doing my hobbies. I let go of my favorite fucking things because I didn't feel worthy of them. Time goes on. I start to get boyfriends. I don't love myself. Of course, I'm attracting people that don't love me. I'm getting cheated on, mistreated. And eventually, I'm 16, depressed, lost myself, and I'm with an abusive partner who also makes me feel like shit. It's validating everything I ever thought about myself, every negative thing I ever thought about myself. And then I'm sitting here in my bed and I'm like, why do I hate myself? Why do I feel so icky? Why can't I look in the mirror? Why can't I get myself to get out of bed? Why do I just feel so disgusted, so small? When I break it down like that, it seems obvious, right? You lost yourself, Drea. You gave up on yourself, Drea. So how do I get myself back? What do I do to get myself back? So once you've identified whatever made you lose yourself? The first time you started feeling like this, and maybe it's not that far back. Maybe it's not childhood things. Maybe you're just now started feeling icky about yourself after getting a really successful business, after achieving your dreams. And then I know where you start feeling icky. Still identify when that happened. Maybe you stopped growing as much. Maybe you stopped being so creative and started getting really technical with your work. There's somewhere along the line where you started to lose a part of yourself. And you got to identify that. So after you identify that, I want you to think, what version of myself could I be proud of? What version of myself could I be proud of? For me, little 16-year-old me, I wanted to be fit. I gained so much weight with the depression and the not moving. I wanted to be loved. I wanted people in my life that loved me. I wanted to look at myself in the mirror and think, I'm pretty. I didn't have a sense of style about myself. I didn't like how I looked. I wanted to be the type of person that could talk in front of people and not shame myself. I would talk in school. It was so hard for me to talk. When I finally did start to talk, it was playing a character. And then even playing that character, I felt like I played it wrong. So I would just be beating myself up all day. Like, oh my God, like I'm so embarrassing. Everybody hates me. I didn't want to be like that anymore. I didn't want to be the girl that lets her boyfriend hit her and treat her like shit and cheat on her. Of course, I hate myself when I am mistreating myself this way. I have become somebody I don't even recognize. So what are the characteristics that I need to develop again? Or maybe just fine. Maybe I never did develop these traits. What do I need to do to feel that love for myself? And for me, it came down to confidence. Came down to having boundaries. Came down to knowing who I was, because I had no idea who I was anymore. I lost myself and I became a shell of myself. I stopped even being a human. I just went through every day trying to survive, feeling this vague sadness, not wanting to be here anymore. And I didn't even have a reason, really. Yes, I was in this abusive relationship. Yes, I was unhappy, but even before that, this vague sadness since I was 13 years old, not wanting to be here since I was 13 years old. Why? How do I stop this? But if I could just be confident, if I could just love myself, if I could just look in the mirror and like what I saw, everything would be so much different. So I started thinking, what can I do? I don't feel comfortable enough to cut off my boyfriend right now. I don't even love myself enough to cut off the only thing that makes me feel loved, even though he's abusive and shitty and horrible. This is the only person that gives me energy. So look at that within your own life. What are you using to fill these voids of the person that you should be? If you don't have confidence, if you don't love yourself, what are you using to fill the voids? It could be sex. It could be doom scrolling in your bed all day. Definitely something I did. Could be shitty, toxic relationships, friendships. Could be drugs. Whatever is you are doing that is simultaneously making you feel like shit and also filling in the void, identify them. Identify what they're making you feel, what they're doing for you. And then let's try to find alternatives. If I'm bed rotting all day and I'm trying to doom scroll, which is once again what I did, if I'm trying to doom scroll to forget that I'm here, or I sleep all day, another thing I did. I sleep all day to forget that I'm here and try to stimulate myself and, get away from that boredom that I have all the time. What can I do? Damn, I should probably go work out. I used to love basketball. That's what I'm saying. You have to look at both. What did you lose? What did you used to do that used to make you feel so happy? What are you doing now to try to fill the void instead? Okay? So I'm sitting here doom scrolling all the time. I'm so unhappy. I'm trying to fill in the void. I'm bored. I quit basketball when I was younger. I quit singing. I quit creating. So what can I do? I should probably get back in the gym. I should probably take up some type of sport. I should probably at least try to get a walk in a day, because, oh my God, I'm just sitting in my stagnant energy all day, not doing shit, wasting my life away, and then wondering why I hate myself. Right? And not to be harsh, but that's the truth. You got to look at it logically. Okay, I have this shitty abusive boyfriend. Makes me feel horrible about myself, of course. What am I doing that for? Why am I even with him? I'm trying to stimulate myself. I'm trying to feel loved. What can I do to feel loved again? Shit, maybe I could pour into myself more. Maybe I could journal, which I did not journal at 16. I didn't get there. But maybe I could do my makeup. Maybe I can start to find my own style. Maybe I can find ways to fall in love with myself. Show myself love and care every day. At least get up and take a shower every day. Because I was in a depressive state, I wasn't even doing that. Show myself love, clean my room. Because I'm showing that I hate myself, and then I wonder why I hate myself. You can't fulfill these deep needs within yourself with artificial things. You're not going to fill it with drugs. I tried. You're not going to fill it with love from other people. I tried. You're not going to fill it with anything. You have to come to terms and bring out that part of you. I wrote a poem not too long ago. Hold on. It says, I remember when I believed love was only skin deep. So infatuated with the finer things like cuddles and diamond rings, I didn't realize that the most important part of human connection wasn't human at all. Love was so much more than the process of the fall. I didn't realize that romance was simply my way of answering my soul's call. I found solace in your reflection because I was so afraid of my own. True love is so much deeper than skin and bones. You see, you express the parts of me I don't know how to find within myself. And I seek your energy because I have long forgotten how it felt. I didn't realize that this wasn't love but attachment, or that true love is our highest frequency, and simple skin and bones can never match it. This poem is talking about losing ourselves, losing our true essence, and then trying to fulfill it with attachments. Whether that's your phone, whether that's sex, whether that's a toxic relationship, whether it's drugs, they're all fake. That's not true love. That's not true happiness. Your highest frequency is when you are you. You fulfill it within yourself. And when you're at that high frequency, you reflect it into the world around you and you get it back tenfold. But if you feel empty inside and you're trying to grasp onto things to fill it, you're just grasping onto more emptiness. For a lack of a better way to put it, like you project what you are in that moment, the frequency that you're at. You're not gonna be able to latch on to the things that you're projecting into the world from such a low point already and then expect it to higher your vibration. So figure out what you need to be doing to higher your vibration again. What you need to do for yourself to start to fill in that gap, to start to love yourself again, to start to take control of your own situations, to start to take control of your emotions again, to love yourself again. Because as long as you're trying to fulfill it with these fake things, you're never going to get rid of that ick feeling. You're not. Now, I know there's somebody at home thinking, well, I know what to do. I know what I missed. I know what I'm doing wrong, but I have no motivation to change it. When you get into that deep, dark hole, when you're truly depressed, it is so difficult to step out of that comfort zone that you've made for yourself and create a new life. I know. And I know saying comfort zone sounds so weird, like I'm not comfortable at all. But you've gotten comfortable in your own sadness. You've made an identity of your sadness, of your self-hatred. And it's just now getting to that point where it's literally unbearable. Like it's unbearable. You're still going through life. You're still here. And this feeling is fucking unbearable. So what you have to do is you have to make a decision. Do you want this to be your life? Is this what you want for yourself? Do you want to be depressed all the time? Do you want to hate yourself all the time? Do you want to feel so useless? Like, do you want to be just waiting for life to be over instead of living it? Is that what you want? If not, you have to make a decision to be different today. You have to make a decision to step into that person that you would feel happy in. That we just talked about, like, you know who you are meant to be. That person that you're thinking of, like, oh, how could I be happy? When I told you to make that version of yourself, when I told you to write it down, that's not some imaginary version of you. That's you. That's you. You wouldn't even be able to think of it. You wouldn't even be able to fathom it. You wouldn't be able to articulate it if it wasn't reachable, if it wasn't you. That's you. You're just playing somebody else right now. Your soul wouldn't be longing for it if it wasn't you. It's you. I need you to know it's you. But you have to make that decision to step into that version of you. When I was in college, I was in a very depressive state. I was depressed before I got there. This was between the abusive boyfriend and things. Like, I pulled myself a little bit out. I started boxing. I started trying to make new friends. I started posting on social media a little bit. But I lost it again. I'm not going to lie. I lost it again. I started to feel so icky and horrible about myself. I hated who I saw in the mirror. I hated who I was. And I tried to fill it in with sex. I used my looks, People said I had pretty hair and a fat ass. And since everybody told me that, those are the two things I valued about myself. The only two things I valued about myself. And I was like, this is what's going to make people like me. This is how I'm going to receive love. This is how I'm going to fill in the holes. So that's what I did. I would try to fill it in with men. And, none of these men really liked me for me because the only thing I thought was valuable about me was my hair and my ass. So, of course, I'm attracting men that just want to fuck. Did I really, truly want to fuck? No. I hated casual sex. It made me feel icky and terrible and horrible about myself. But how else could I numb this feeling? I did that a lot. I hated school. I had no friends. The one friend I had bullied the shit out of me. I didn't have enough confidence or boundaries or enough love for myself to be on my own and cut off that friend. So this was my world. Men that don't give a shit about me. And a best friend that fucking hates me. This is my world and I fucking hate it. I'm in college. I don't even want to be in college. I'm just in college because people told me to go to college. My whole world is based off of other people's perception of me and I have no idea who the fuck I am anymore. It wasn't until I went home on Christmas break. I straightened my hair. I used a heat protectant from my aunt's closet. And all my hair got burnt off. And in that moment, I truly thought I was going to die. And it sounds so dumb looking from the outside in, like, what do you mean? You thought you were going to... I thought my life was over. It was my only sense of identity at that point that people thought I was pretty. And I didn't even think I was pretty. I did not think I was pretty in the face or nothing. I took what people complimented the most, my body and my hair. And without that, who the fuck am I? In that moment, I decided I was going to die. I remember I sat there and I was like, I'm going to die. And it wasn't like a little no, I sat there for hours. I'm going to die. Days. I'm going to die. Until out of nowhere, I had a random epiphany. What if I just chose to love myself now? I thought about all these men that did me so wrong over the years. My own dad that fucking hated me. Me and my mom didn't have a good relationship at the time. Maybe nobody likes or loves me. But if I have to be here and I just want to feel love, why don't I just love myself? And it was the biggest aha moment, wow. And it sounds so simple, but I never even really considered it. I mean, we say we love ourselves all the time, but I never really loved myself. I never really loved myself, The most I've ever done is look in the mirror and be like, I look good today. My ass looks fat today. Love myself? I can do that? So in that moment, I decided if I'm going to live, I got to be a different person. Because either way, the person I was is dying today. She's dead. It's over. So what am I going to do? What's the next step? Who am I going to be? And I remember I went in my notes and I didn't know shit about manifesting, nothing about mental health. I didn't know nothing about nothing. Nobody told me about that. Nobody told me about energy. Nobody told me about all my negativity and my trauma ruining my life. Nobody told me that. But in that moment, I knew I had to create a new person. So I did. I remember I went in my notes. New Year's had just passed. I went in my notes. I was like, who the fuck am I going to be this year? Who am I going to be? I started writing stuff down. I want to be more confident. I don't want to fuck random men. I don't want to put all my emphasis on my body. I want to be more than my body. I want to move my body. I want to respect my body, eat a little healthier. Go to sleep on time. Don't stay up all night on your phone, doom scrolling, watching BoJack over and over again. Stop listening to such sad music. Stop making myself so depressed. Stop hanging out with just anybody that will give me attention. Start loving myself. Start spending time with myself. At that point, I decided, I'm going to follow a passion. I love makeup. I love makeup more than anything. I still love makeup to this day. You know what? I'm going to go to esthetician school. Fuck college. I don't even like college. I'm not doing it anymore. There's nothing for me there anymore. If I have to keep living, I'm going to do it on my terms. I'm going to make it happen. I'm not going to be miserable for the rest of my life. I can't do it. I can't look in the mirror for the rest of my life and hate myself. I can't do it. So I didn't. And I'm not going to say it was just smooth sailing from there. I'm not going to say it was just easy. But I started to figure it out. I started to go to the gym. I started to cut people off, that didn't treat me well. I stopped being on Tinder. I stopped fucking random people. Got me a pretty solid job. Went to esthetician school. I didn't even know that was an option for me. It's like with being this new person, I don't know. When you embody somebody new, when you embody a different energy, like everybody else has no choice but to respond to it. People saw me so differently. I fell in love with myself without the hair. I fell in love with my bare face. I didn't have to put makeup on every single day. Stop straightening my hair 24/7. I look in the mirror, I'd be like, girl, I love you. And everybody else started to love me too. It started to respect me too. I show up for my body every day. I love my body every day. I go in the gym, I put in that effort. People started to give me effort back. I put my foot down, I really don't like college. I'm not good at it. I'm not even doing anything there. And then my mom was willing to pour into my dreams. This is before we were in cool. I didn't have no money to go to esthetician school. She paid for that for me. I never thought my mom would hear me, listen to me, because my entire childhood, I remember I would tell her I want to go and be a makeup artist, and she'd be like, oh, you can do that on the side, but you have to go to college. I didn't know that was an option for me. But when I decided, no, people are not going to keep controlling my life. I'm not going to live my life based on how people think of me. I'm not going to wait on other people to love me. I'm not going to wait on other people to accept me because I have to accept me or I'm going to hate myself forever. Life is going to be miserable for me if I do that. Once I made that decision, I started making shit happen. So if you want to change your life, if you want to be another person, make that decision and make it happen. Write down what you want to be, who you are. Write down the things that you're going to do to make stuff happen. Decide. You can write down, I remember when I was homeless and I was going from being homeless to writing my book and, doing this, speaking to you guys, doing TikTok, things like that. I wrote journal entry, literally 5 pages of exactly who I was going to be, exactly what I was going to do. And they are actualizing, they all actualize so quickly. And I still have things that I'm creating for myself. But if you decide it, it has no choice but to happen. If you can stay strong in that. And there's going to be days. There's going to be days when you feel like your old self again. There's going to be days when you feel unmotivated. But you need to tell yourself, look, I love myself enough to do this for me. I want to live a better life. I want to be happy. So I'm going to do this for myself. Literally have your reasons already set out. Have a list of reasons. Why do you want to be different? Why do you want to be better? What needs are you fulfilling? Why do you deserve this? And when you have that written and when you know that in your heart and your soul and you're practicing and you're reading that every single day and you start to believe it, that is your motivation. And like I said, there will be days where you don't want to do it. 3, 2, 1, get up and do it. I deserve it. Literally, this is how you don't want to do something don't want to go to the gym today. I just want to bed rot. You know that's a pattern. You know you're going to fall back into a pattern if you do that. I deserve to have a body that is healthy, that is nurtured. I deserve to be taken care of and loved and respected. So I'm going to do that for myself today. I'm going to go to the gym. 3, 2, 1. Get your ass up. And I'm not saying just kill yourself. Don't just kill yourself on that oh my God, like I need to go to the gym 1,000 times a day, 4 hours a day. Like you're just gonna burn yourself out and you're not gonna actually be happier. That's why it needs to be aligned, you know? Maybe it's not the gym, maybe it's creation. Maybe you need to create, practice your piano or whatever you do. Go out and play a sport. Boxing was so amazing for me. It got so much anger out. It made me feel happy and energized. It made me realize like I can get dopamine from things that aren't my shitty abusive boyfriend. I can get dopamine without wrecking my nervous system. Okay? It doesn't have to be the gym. The gym is just such an easy example. It can be self-care. I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna do my makeup today. It can be content. I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna make a video today. I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna journal today because I deserve that. I deserve to express myself. I deserve to take care of myself. Everybody's at different levels of it, you know? Maybe you're at the level where like you're just so depressed, you're like done with life. Maybe your first step needs to be taking a walk every day. 10 minutes. Maybe it's just jumping jacks. 5 jumping jacks. You know? Or maybe you've done this a few times, you know, you've went through the loop a few times, you know, you progress and then you feel icky and then you progress again. Maybe you're already at a point where your life is looking good. You already have a good schedule, your gym, work, blah, blah, blah. You need to create, babe. Think about the things that used to make you happy and make you feel full of love for yourself and for life and create. 3, 2, 1. I'm done working right now. I'm about to go create a song. I'm not going to sit here and waste my life away at my computer because I feel like that's what I'm obligated to do. Okay? It's all up to you. It's your human design. Ain't nobody like you. Learn yourself. Love yourself. Know yourself. You know? It is possible. It's possible to love yourself. It's possible to be happy. It's possible to completely change your life around. You're never stagnant. You're never stuck. You can always change and you can always grow. I promise you. If I can do it, especially as many times as I've done it, I promise you can do it. I didn't used to think I was going to graduate high school. I didn't think I would make it to 16 even. I have been suicidal since I was 13 years old. Before I was 13, actually. When I was 13 is when I started self-harming. It is possible. I'm not depressed anymore. I haven't been depressed in years. And that was something I did for myself. I made that happen for me. I'm on here talking to you guys. I have thousands and thousands of people who sit here and support me and I talk to. I was a little girl that couldn't talk. When people would call on me in class, the teacher would call me in class, I would start crying. You're never stuck in one person. If you don't like who you are right now, change it. Change it. It's never too late. This is your life. This is your life. Now, I love you so much. I am the author of a workbook. It's called Get the Fuck Up. This book teaches you how to completely change your life and your identity. From happiness to relationships to your job. Literally anything you want to manifest. This is going to help you do it. I worked really hard on this and it really embodies the journey. And there's just tons of worksheets in here, tons of good information, practices. I really think you would love it. I love you so much. Thanks for being here with me, pretty girl. Have an amazing day.